They've battled it out for 9 rounds across the globe in all conditions. For one of these 3 men, rallycross immortality beckons. Who will scale new heights in World RX? It's the showdown in Cape Town.
Hello, good morning, how's it? And welcome to Cape Town in South Africa. This is the final day of the season. It all ends here. There have only ever been 3 World Rallycross champions, but by 4 o'clock local time this afternoon, we will have a new name carved into the history books. Welcome. Let's have a look at where we've been so far this year to bring us to this historic moment. We started way back in Abu Dhabi. We've been around Europe, across to Canada, back into Europe. It's been a little break since Latvia, but now we've traveled right down to the bottom of the African continent, and here we are in Cape Town, the mother city. Normally, we'd be in the shadow of Table Mountain. You'd be able to see that over there, but at the moment, the tablecloth is over it. You can't see Table Mountain, but it's a little bit cooler this morning than it was yesterday afternoon. I think the air temperature is about 19 degrees. Track temperature is about 25, but the sun's coming out, the cloud's going to clear, it's going to get warmer, and certainly the battle is going to hot up. Let's go and have a look at how the cars are lining up. This is the last time today we'll see all of these cars in this formation before we all reset for 2020. Let's see if we can have a word with someone who is coping very well with the pressure. And let's see how he feels ready for qualifying 3. And if this is your guy, comment below if you're rooting for Andreas. Andreas, good morning.
Good morning. There we go.
We understand that we've got new grids for this because Liam unfortunately hasn't made it, which puts you in quite a strong position in the first race.
Yeah, it does. All of a sudden I'm now in pole. Yeah, we can maybe turn things around. That's what I hope for. Also, driving in the first heat, maybe there are some track conditions which would be worse for us, but hopefully we can have a good heat and yeah, I just need to take that start and nail every lap, and hopefully I can turn it around a little bit.
You seem in a very good sort of level frame of mind. Did you step out of bed on the right foot this morning? And tell us all about your preparations this morning.
Yeah. Woke up, Mats in the bed next to me, like we always do, traveling around the world. And had alarm on 6:52. Woke up, got with the right leg first and then left. And then I put right sock before left sock, and all of a sudden here we are.
And it's good. You do seem very sort of calm and collected. What's going on inside? Is it a little bit difficult to keep it all controlled?
Of course, there is feelings inside. You know, we all want this. We all have worked very hard. Everyone in the team. So has the Hansens. You know, so it's just you need to be on the best, and you need to try your best. More than that, you can't do. And hopefully, we have it in us today.
Well, everyone's rooting for you and the Hansens and everyone, and good, clean fighting. Have a great race. So that's qualifying 3 is about to take place, and Andreas Backrud is on pole for the first race. Let's see how we got to qualifying 3 by looking back at qualifyings 1 and indeed 2.
High temperatures and sunshine in Cape Town as qualifying got underway would dust be an issue. Race 1 and Nick Grffnholm got a clear whole shot on the run down to turn 1. The Finn was on fantastic form, never looked back from there and took the checkered flag. Race 2, Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen had chosen to race together to lessen the odds of an incident in turn 1. Timmy, around the outside of Kevin, would hold on to that position until the checkered flag and set a time which would not be bettered. On to race 3, Andreas Backrud without the backup of his teammate Liam Doran. Doran had an engine failure in free practice. Backrud lost the start, but took Kaliokoski in turn 1. A brilliant move by the Norwegian. He's almost as quick as Hansen. The final race of Q1. Gulan Schiesrup with a good start, but Sabo dragged him down to turn 1. He then got hung out to dry. Tymosyanov was hanging it out too, sideways for the Russian. He edged out Sabo on the Joker tactics to take the checkered flag. Hansen wins Q1. The grids were reversed for Q2 with all the fast guys in together. Grffnholm again with the whole shot. Contact behind from Timmy Hansen, backward at the back of the pack. Grffnholm was in fantastic form despite the track having been watered. He set an incredible time and gapped the world's best 3 rallycross drivers from this season. Brilliant job by the Finn. Race 2, Tymosyanov had seen what his teammate had done and was keen to copy him. Markland tried to go round the outside in turn 1, but it was the Russian who took the lead while Sabo ran wide. Tymosyanov was pushing hard. He almost did enough to match Grffnholm, but not quite. Behind him, Scheider and Markland squabbled for P2. It went the way of Scheider. Shisharik got left on the grid as Kaliakowski beat his teammate Baumanis down to turn 1. The Latvian looked faster, but he couldn't find a way past. In the end, it came down to joke lap strategy, with Baumanis coming out in front. The final race of Q2, and Liam Doran broke a drive shaft off the start. A disaster for the RX cartel. Out front, De Ridder and Cyril Raymond went side by side into turn 2. Tharashkin put paid to Raymond. De Ridder went P3 in Q2, but the overnight TQ was Grffnholm.
We've done a good job in the races we've done, and I would love to be in the championship fight coming here, but I had the problems with my health, so yeah, it's a pity we're not in the fight. I would have loved to battle the guys, you know, throughout the season, but yeah, like I said, it is what it is, and the only target for me this weekend is to try to win the race.
Fantastic performance by Grffnholm to win Q2 in those slippery conditions. Hansen holds on to P2 thanks to his winning Q1. Kevin Hansen and Andreas backward further down the order as the track dried for the later runners. At the minute, Kaliakowski and Shisha are on the cusp. Can Doran make it and support backward in the semis?
So, keep an eye on the flying Finn, Nicholas Grffnholm right there, but also, of course, these 2 cars and these 2 brothers. Could it be a Hansen? Could it be a backward? It's very exciting. I've got goosebumps. We're about to watch 3 races of World RX, 3 races of RX2, and then we'll come back for qualifying 4. So I know I'm excited, and I know there are 2 gentlemen in the commentary booth over there who are probably quite excited as well, and that is Andrew Coley and Dan Rook.
I could not be more excited. I mean, this morning, very interesting what they've done in terms of Doran. So, okay, Doran's had a problem. He completed warm-up perfectly okay this morning. The car looked absolutely mega, but we did have 4 four-car races. Now, by pulling Doran, backward ends up in race 1. I've got my grids down here. Here we go. And backward ends up with a relatively easier race than what Kevin Hansen and Timmy Hansen have. So Kevin and Timmy are actually going to be in together. But it's a clever tactic, Dan, because it gives Andreas, he has to get it done. He has to get it done. From pole, he needs a whole shot. There are people in that race who can beat him, but it's an easier race than what Timmy and Kevin have got. Plus, it gives them traffic. It gives them more chance of something going wrong. So great tactics, and I've got a feeling I know who might have helped with those decisions.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, Andreas does have to nail his start. It really puts the pressure on him to get that done. But yeah, with Timmy and Kevin being in a slightly more difficult race, of course, we've seen them when they start together, though they do work well together on the way into turn 1. But yeah, they are in with some more difficult drivers.
Yeah, so incredibly clever tactics. And this is what you've got to do if you want to win a world championship. So Liam, as you take them on for the teams, you've got a problem with the car, it doesn't matter. It's up to them what they do with it, and it's very, very clever. I love the amount of thought that's gone into it. Have a little think about how clever it is. So let's take a look at the track. That's our overhead view from the far end as it is at the moment. Here's a little map to remind you of the layout. Just over 1 kilometre for the standard, another 100 odd metres with the Joker. Joker around the outside is mostly asphalt coming back onto dirt. And it's really more about track conditions. You guys know turn 1 here is relatively safe. It's quite wide. There are option lines for outside, inside. We saw Backward make that pass on Kaliakowski. We've seen Kevin Hansen go round the outside here before. So plenty of options in turn 1. But Dan, I wanted to talk more about the track conditions. So if we look here, it's pretty dry on the way in. There's still a little bit of dampness. We think they put down a fair bit of dust X, particularly on the other end of the circuit in front of our commentary position up by the jump in turn 2 and 3. It's a bit darker. It's a bit more compact. It's not as hot this morning just yet. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I'd imagine the evolution of dryness through the course of the qualifying session isn't going to be as varied as it was yesterday. You know, the track temperature's down by 20 odd degrees compared to yesterday.
Yeah, it was 40, wasn't it? And it's only it's early in the morning, of course, 2 here, early-ish, 10,
Ish, yeah.
10. There's Bakkerud's fan club. Now, yesterday, of course, Bakkerud probably came off the worst. Yeah, he said in an interview we spoke to him, which you'll see later on in the show, he was 7/10 off the back of Timmy Hansen in that session, and it was 7 places in the overall standings. And that was because he went in that first race, and it wasn't as quick because the track was damp. The other drivers were, relatively speaking, quicker than they normally would be, and that meant then that he lost 7 positions. So track evolution could be an issue. But remember, Niklas Grffnholm yesterday won the session by a comfortable margin in the first race of the session. Here we go then, Q3 about to get underway. Let's take a look at the grid for race 1. And you'll see that it is a 5-car grid. Very clever. Liam Doran has been withdrawn from Q3. A technical issue apparently ahead of the racing, which means Bakkerud moves into pole in the first race with Bennett, Shisharit, Farashkin and Raymond. He needs to get the whole shot here. He's in P6, that's not bad. Notice he hasn't put new tyres on the car, so they'll be saving those for the semi-finals and for the big championship fight. There he is, heat haze off the track. But as we say, it's only actually 20-degree air temperature. Track is 26, so they were about 10 degrees down on air and a good 15, 20 degrees down on track temperature at this point. Crucial start for Bakkerud. Here we go. He's got it done off the line. Bennett drops back. Bakkerud's on the inside. Farashkin, the only one with him. Bakkerud's on the inside. Going to be on the brakes nice and late. Doesn't get collected from the rear. I was worried he was going to get contact there. I think it's still Raymond who's up behind him, so it is Andreas Bakkerud into turn 2 sideways. Bit of contact there for Shisharit. That may be from his teammate Cyril Raymond again. Farashkin's up the inside, and I think so Shisharit into P2, Raymond's dropped back, but Bakkerud absolutely got it done. He had to. Now he's got to nail the lap stand.
Yeah, he really didn't crack under the pressure there, so got that job done. I was worried he would be collected on the way into turn 1 because there was contact behind with Bennett and Shisharit. I thought maybe they would have collided and sailed on into Andreas, but luckily that didn't happen for him. And now you can see he's nailing the gap. It's already 1.7 back to Shisharit.
That is huge in one lap, but this is tactical genius. Whether it doesn't matter whether there's a problem with Liam's car or not. The team are entitled to do what they want to do with it, and this is brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic job by them, but he's just, of course, got to hope that he can be the top qualifier by the end.
Now, we looked on 40.6 for Bakkerud as a lap time. That's absolutely massive, isn't it? We were in 41. Yes, is that the fastest lap of the weekend?
Yeah, that must be the fastest lap, I'm sure of it, and that's off of the line as well, so... Yeah.
Okay, so Bakkerud, that's interesting. Bakkerud was about P13 in morning warm-up. We noticed he lifted through turn 1 twice, Dan. I think they were hiding their pace during free practice this morning.
Yeah, potentially they found something overnight because he limped around and he even pulled off the track early in the morning warm-up. It's just gone a 40.7 from the racing lap, so really strong performance.
And on used tyres as well, so Andreas Bakkerud is not on new boots according to our graphics, and 40.6 and a 40.7 is absolutely smashing the lap times. Dan, this, obviously the Hansons would have clocked what they've done. They may even have discussed it last night and gone, I'm willing to bet they pulled Doran. The teams have these incredibly detailed conversations about what might have happened, but now Bakkerud's got the whole shot. Now he's banging in the laps. He's piling the pressure back on the other way.
Yeah, of course. Timmy and Kevin are going to be sat on the grid watching this. They'll have their spotters in their ears saying, my goodness, they've just put it, he's gone sub 41-second lap time. So you boys are going to have to pull it out of the bag, and of course that's then playing on the Hansons' mind.
Yeah, great. Fantastic performance from Andreas Bakkerud. Fantastic fight in this incredible year of World Rallycross action. You're looking at Farashkin and Cyril Raymond. Now we cut back to Andreas Bakkerud at the front of the field. A 40.7. Again, he's gone sub 41 on all 3 laps. Andreas Bakkerud now into the joke lap. He's going to look for a perfect lap here too. Watch him into the apex. He'll come deep and late. Maybe rotate the car on the handbrake just a little bit. Straightens it out early. Lovely job. Carries good momentum through. So yesterday's fastest time was a 2:52.6 from Timmy Hansen. What's Bakkerud going to do here? Over the line. 2:51.1. Fastest time of the weekend for Andreas Bakkerud. Yes. Fist pump inside the car. An emphatic comeback, and that is the gauntlet thrown down early in the morning here. World Championship Sunday, and Backwood's got it done in Q3. Oh, what a drive. What tactics and what a drive. You have to get it all right. You can't just do the tactics. Backwood had to do the job there as well, and he did. Brilliant. There are the Backwood Blues. They are as pleased as Andreas Backwood is. Result of Q3 Race 2, Andreas Backwood with a 2:51.183, the fastest time of the weekend. Absolutely brilliant. 1.5 seconds quicker than Timmy went in Q1 yesterday. Gulan Shisharit, Zoremon, Matvey Farashkin and Ollie Bennett. This was it then off the line. So Dan, you and me both worried here. We don't want anything to happen to the World Championship protagonist. On the inside, look at the contact there. Was it Bennett in the back of Shisharit?
Yeah, I think Bennett was on the inside of Shisharit on the run down to the corner, and then Galan just shut the door and then they both tangled. And of course, when you've got two cars tangled together like that, they don't necessarily stop as quick as a car on his own. So they could have easily gone into the back of Andreas there.
No, he won't have seen that. Obviously, it's kittens for everyone else, but for Backwood, it's job done. He's got the whole shot. I mean, this was who's this? Mond and taking Bennett. Nice pass up the inside there, but nothing as nice as what Backwood has done. 3 fastest laps of the weekend and a fastest time of the weekend sees him throwing down an incredible benchmark for the session.
Andreas, tell us exactly where all that extra speed just came from. That was impressive.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. Just the start was there, the racing along the track. It's very hard conditions because it's very different from yesterday. So it's hard to read it. Every lap is changing a little bit. The crew put a lot of dust decks on the track, so it's very high grip actually on the gravel today, especially turn 3, turn 6. I would say I said on the radio to the guys I was 100% happy with the race. Just turn 6, I was 92%. So there is a little bit more, but I think I should be happy with this run.
It's a good start to the day. Well done.
Well, me and Dan are frantically counting to 6 to try and figure out which one turn 6 is, because we normally only deal with the first 2 or 3.
I think it's the hairpin, standard lap hairpin.
Okay, so fair enough. Interesting what Backer said, though, which is exactly what we said. They put down a lot of dust decks, and it was different to yesterday. Yesterday, to me, was water, because the track remained brown, and then it dried to the red African dust, whereas today the track looks black, and that's that dust decks mix, the dark-coloured tree saps. The grip levels are up. So, maybe we've read too much into Backwood's time. Either way, brilliant job. Q3 Race 2. Our other championship protagonists are in this one. Kevin Hansen on the pole. Janis Baumanis is next to him. Then it's Jiri Kaliakowski, Timmy Hansen and Christian Sabo. New boots on the front for Sabo. On the left-hand side for both Kevin Hansen and Timmy Hansen. So they're holding a couple of tyres back. We know both the start cars are very good starters, and bear in mind that Backwood just got a good start. Sabo's on the opposite side of the grid, of course, but this is a much tougher race for the Hansens, and that's another part of the genius tactics of RX Cartel and EKS. Brilliant start by Timmy Hansen, an absolute rocket off the line. Kaliakowski contact with Baumanis on the inside. Sideways, then they're going to drop it. Timmy comes around the outside with his brother Kevin. Up on 2 wheels, Kaliakowski goes round Sabo on the outside. Kaliakowski dropped it, Baumanis up the inside of Kevin Hansen. Hansen gets attacked from the rear, goes sideways, Sabo in the dust. Timmy Hansen leads, Kevin Hansen P2. Somehow they've come out unscathed, and we're on for a championship fight now.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin's got a slight bit of bodywork damage there, hasn't he? But nothing that's going to hamper him, and this is what the two Hansens had to do. They knew they had to come out 1 and 2 after the first corner, and they've just delivered it. They do it every time.
The hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. This is the best World Rallycross Championship ever, I'm calling it. Timmy Hansen now has to chase down those lap times. First lap for Timmy is a 40.3. So 40.3 goes quicker again. He's gone 3/10 quicker than Backwood. He's responding.
That's just fantastic by Timmy, and he is, I've always said it, he's one of those drivers that can pull out 3/10 when he needs it, and I don't know how he does it, and that is exactly what he's delivering right now.
Absolutely brilliant. Of course, Timmy had a nice clean start, was out in front again. The carnage was happening behind him. I just don't want anything to happen to these guys in a mad start. And, you know, yes, the tactics were great from Cartel and EKS, but actually now the Hansens have managed to get the start done if they can get the lap times done too. Let's see what Timmy does this time round. 40.3 last time. 40.2, thanks very much. I'll click another 10th off. There we go.
Kevin Hansen's on a 40.5 as well, which is a 10th faster than Andreas' best too. So Kevin Hansen as well could be looking to see these guys slotting in P1 and 2 after this race.
Yeah, and that might see Kevin, of course, nick a couple of points off backward during qualifying. Overnight, Timmy Hansen was P2, Kevin Hansen P5. Backer at P6, so if they can out-qualify, you know, Kevin would love P2 if he can't be the world champion, and there's nothing to say he can't be the world champion at the minute, because there's only 8 points in it, and that's the difference basically between winning the final and being last in it. So, just absolutely epic. Timmy Hansen crosses the line again, and it's a 40.0. He knocks another 2 tenths off. Timmy Hansen wants to be the world champion. That's the 3rd time you've seen that graphic in this race. He's just gone faster than backward on every lap. Now he's got to nail the Joker lap. Timmy Hansen's turn to get it right. So far, he's absolutely perfect.
It's just a fantastic job, isn't it? The Joker lap, Andreas was at 43.0 his Joker lap, and now it's the moment of truth. What can the Hansens do?
2:51.183, fastest time of the weekend for Andreas backwards so far. Timmy Hansen, Kevin Hansen, almost on identical lines through the Joker lap. Look how much he's gapped his brother. Timmy coming down to the braking zone now, over the crest, through the dip, over the line, and he's absolutely knocked it out of the park. 2:49.2, he goes 1.9 seconds faster. That's incredible.
Amazing job, amazing job. His Joker lap was 3 tenths up on Andreas as well.
Amazing, unbelievable to me. Oh, God, well, fair play to the Hansens for responding. What did Kevin do? 2:51.3, just misses out. So backward gets Kevin by 2 tenths, but Timmy Hansen, with the drive of a world champion there, to do a 2:49.2. Kevin Hansen is 2nd, Baumann is 3rd, Sabo and Kaliokoski. Didn't even get to see them because Timmy and Kevin were in a bit of a different postcode there. But look at that. Your top 3 in the World Championship, in World Championship order, at the top of the table. Wow. Off the line, then look at the start Timmy Hansen got, but then it was the contact between Kaliokoski and Baumanis that made me so nervous. I was like, please don't drop it and take out Timmy and Kevin. You know, we want a fair fight. Kaliokoski goes off out to the side. Sabo with a big old drift. Kevin gets a little nudge from Yanis. That's okay though. By now they're P1 and P2 down, and that was well, maybe that was 20% of the job done.
Yeah, I mean they had to do that, didn't they? But I mean you could almost argue the time loss that Kevin had to backward. The 2 attempts there he lost.
He's in turn 2.
Yeah.
Turn 2, yeah, with backward. But incredible job by Timmy Hansen, fighting for the World Rallycross Championship.
Timmy, just tell us, where did you find that pace? That was incredible.
This was, I think these 4 laps were one of my best races all season. That was a perfect run. I was absolutely flat out. From the very first corner after the start, launch was also great. And then every single corner, every single time. I knew this was an important race, and I'm super proud that I could pull this off. So yeah, it feels great. I'm super happy to see Kevin behind, like in my mirrors. So yeah, now I'll refocus, I'll do Q4, and I'll approach that the same as I did now.
Well done, thank you.
Wow, what a performance from Timmy Hansen. Absolutely epic. Incredible, incredible. To do those lap times, he said it himself, that was the perfect run. We've heard him say that a few times, but I think never has he meant it more than he did then. Final race of Q3 coming up. We've seen incredible performances from Backerud and Timmy Hansen. Our World Championship top 3 are at the top of the table, but we have some very quick people still to come. Grffnholm, overnight TQ winner yesterday of Q2. Timozyanov, Derrida, Scheider and Markland. Derrida yesterday was P3 in Q2, which is his best performance of the year in qualifying. He was helped by track conditions, he knows that, but it's good to see him getting a good result. Timozyanov and Grffnholm have been absolutely flying. They were P1 and P2 yesterday. They're P1 and P2 on the grid for the last race of qualifying. Can they match those incredible lap times of Hansen and Backerud? Jump start. No, Niklas. Niklas Grffnholm jumps the start.
The one person that looked like he could have topped Timmy in this session.
Yeah, that's a big relief for Hansen. So the graphics top left said Grffnholm, which should mean it's been triggered by the timing equipment. So we think, well, it's Grffnholm. We got a warning for Kevin Hansen on track markers. So one more for Kevin Hansen, and he gets a 5-second penalty. So Kevin Hansen is dicing with the track markers. I think did he do it in turn 2? Because if he did, he doesn't deserve it because he got tagged by managers. But I don't know. So, and yesterday the stewards were great because Markland yesterday got pushed into the markers and they didn't penalise him for it because they knew he couldn't avoid them. So that's where we need to be. Okay, grid reset. It's gutting for Niklas. It was a full launch as well. It wasn't like a creeping clutch to me, or unless he felt it was overheating, he's just let it go. But anyway, here we go. Restart for the final race of Q3. Niklas Grffnholm jumped the start the first attempt. Hopefully he's going to get it right this time. He definitely won't be beating the Hansens. Could Scheider or Timosjanov, Markland or de Ridder do anything about those lap times? My money's on Timosjanov or Scheider, if I'm honest. But it was such a good run from Timmy Hansen. Can anyone match the Grffnholm? Gets a worse start than his teammate, but somehow he's fully up the inside. De Ridder goes inside. Scheider going to try and go around the outside of all three. They're 3 wide through turn 2. De Ridder's up the inside of Timosjanov. Almost into the back of Grffnholm. Grffnholm's going to get the whole shot. As they come around, Grffnholm leads then in P2. It looks like de Ridder is on in the wall. Is it Markland tags the wall in the background? Timosjanov P3 looking up the inside of de Ridder. Can't make it stick though. Grffnholm holds the lead, trying to come around the outside. De Ridder now. Scheider's looking up the inside. 4 cars. Who goes Joker? Scheider goes into the Joker and Markland's gone with him.
This is too messy to even touch Timmy's times already. They've all lost so much time, and Niklas is the only one that hasn't, and he's got 2 Jokers. I think it's safe to say Timmy's got this one in the bag.
Absolutely, Dan. He's done, isn't he, basically? So, Hansen, Backerud, Hansen, I think will be the top 3 in this. Grffnholm, as Dan has rightly said, has got a double Joker at the minute. He can do 2. Timosjanov trying to get past de Ridder. I think he's up the inside this time. He's side by side with him. Going to try and flick back the other way. Now he's on the to the rear of him. He touches him over the jump. Timosjanov trying desperately to make the pass. De Ridder goes defensive. So Guillaume here is desperate to hold on to his position, which I understand, Dan, but he also will be losing time by having to be defensive. Tough position to be in. De Ridder goes Joker. So De Ridder's gone into the Joker lap, and this will be to try and cover off the guys behind. So we'll see how defensive he's been. Too defensive to get past Scheider. Scheider's going to get him. Is he going to be able to get Markland? So Markland, de Ridder manages to hold on from. Oh, super late in the race. Go on, Guillaume, get it.
For me, I think Grffnholm should have gone in on that lap. He already had the gap.
Markland's managed to get past de Ridder. Yeah, agreed. He's got 2 to do. You might as well have stuck one in when you had the chance. So Markland gets past de Ridder. So Grffnholm still with 2 Jokers to do. Timosjanov 5.1 seconds back. Scheider here could be on for getting this, you know, because with Grffnholm having 2 to do, and he's close enough to Timosjanov at the minute, who hasn't Joker. So Grffnholm goes in for 1. He's going to come out of the lead, though, isn't he? I reckon Grffnholm's got time for both, Dan. I'll take it back.
Yeah, I think he could do as well. I mean, his lap times he's set at 40.2, so he's very much within the region of the top 3 drivers.
Niklas, that jump start. So Niklas Grffnholm has put in, so yeah, he's done at 40.3 or 40.2. How does that Joker compare? 42.6?
The Joker is the fastest Joker I think we've seen.
Oh, Niklas, no! So the jump start has ruined Niklas Grffnholm's chances of winning this session. But with the laps he's doing, he could still get a halfway house result. And he was miles in front in the intermediate standings. He was 7 points up on Timmy Hansen. Niklas Grffnholm goes in for his 2nd Joker of the race and is still going to come out in front, which goes to show you just how fast he is.
Scheider makes a mistake in the standard lap as well.
Oh, Scheider's sideways. Is Markland going to be able to out-drag him? I wonder if Scheider's got a problem. Timosjanov out in front of both of them. Markland versus Scheider into that chicane. Over the line. Markland gets P3. Timosjanov P2. Grffnholm, though, with the win. 42.6 and a 42.8. His Jokers were great and a 52.0. He goes 4th. Niklas Grffnholm is 4th with 2 Jokers. Unbelievable. It is all going off in South Africa. Niklas Grffnholm takes Q3 race 3 with a double joker and goes P4 in the session. I think he'll hold on to TQ. Timoziano, his teammate, second. Mark and Scheider Derrida, the crowd have applauded that. It was a bit too carnage to be right up there, but look at that. Double joker, and he's still P4, but it's Hansen, Bakkerud, Hansen, the top 3 in the World Championship at the top of the table in Q3. What a session. I'm gutted that Niklas jumped the start because, Dan, I think there was a chance there that he could have got the job done on Timmy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you take away the Joker Lab Delta there, I was trying to do quick maths in my head, but of course, you know our maths isn't our strong point.
It's not a strong point.
He would have definitely been there or thereabouts with Timmy's time.
Oh, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Look at Timoziano darting to the inside. Grffnholm looks so close to the markers. Niklas will be crossed, but as I say, I actually think I think he'll hold on to the top position. I'm not sure. Timmy, we think, might have taken it. So Timmy might have taken it. So, but Niklas Grffnholm absolutely in the mix in terms of pace. Double joker lap. There's Scheider making that mistake on the inside, and that's what allowed Marken to get through. So, but a brilliant job by Niklas Grffnholm, except for that jump start. What happened?
Niklas, incredible pace, but what happened with the jump start?
No, I overheated the clutch. It was a long wait, and it got too heated and started crawling. So yeah, not much I could do there. But it is what it is.
Well done anyway, thank you.
Let's take a look at the standings then overall after Q3, and it's World Championship leader Timmy Hansen, who is in P1. Andreas Bakkerud was 6th overnight. He moves up to P3. Niklas Grffnholm drops down to P2. Kevin Hansen is in 4th. He was in 5th overnight. So your World Championship top 3 are in the top 4 during qualifying. They're on the front rows in the semi-finals. It's Timoziano, Scheider, Markland and Baumanis down to 8th. At the minute, Shisharik, Derrida, Sabo and Kaliokoski are in. Ollie Bennett, Farashkin, Raymond and Doran looking for slots, but Doran, look, cannot make it. He can't support Bakkerud in the semis. Woo! Okay, that was some session. Bakkerud, first of all, brilliant tactics, absolutely did what he had to do. It wasn't enough.
Yeah, just wasn't quite there. I mean,
tiny margins.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it could be as much as a tiny bit of track development as well. That could have played into
True.
it.
And also, he did say he was 92% happy with turn 6, which you think is the inside hairpin. So, you know, they might be able to do something. When I say not enough, it's tiny. You know, he could get Hansen in turn 1 in the semi-final or the final, and it could be a different result because Hansen won't be able to pass him just as... You know, I mean, it is so close, particularly in pace between Bakkerud, Grffnholm and Timmy Hansen.
Yeah, and Grffnholm's really thrown a spanner in the works here for the World Championship fight, hasn't he?
Oh.
Splitting, at the moment, splitting Timmy and Andreas.
He's the only one who doesn't have to worry about it. You know, Grffnholm can just go, but, you know, oh, wow, what a season. Anyway, we've got some RX2 to do. Take a deep breath. Woosah. Time for some RX2. Q4 will be coming up in a bit, but stay with us for this. Here we go. I might. Do you just take a seat, Dan? Yes. That was level 11 for a whole session. That was brilliant. I love it when this sport provides action like that. It is just fantastic. We are so very lucky. I hope you guys at home know that we know that. Right, Petter Nasha on the inside, then Lane Michaela and Jesse Kallio. Jesse Kallio in that battle. 4P2 in the standings. He's going to get out-qualified by Gunderson and McConnell. Because yesterday, Kallio had a DNS and a DNF, I think?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. The first race, he got away but couldn't maintain his speed and pulled off, and then he didn't even start Q2, so got a lot of work to do, and this is really not going to help him being stuck behind Petter Nasha as well.
No, wide wasn't he in turn 1 there, and Nasha's in front, and yeah, not what he needs. So this is about whether or not Kallio can make it, and I'm just going to take a quick look at the standings. At the minute, it's extraordinarily unlikely. So what's the most? The most he can score in a session is 50, and the least he can score is 31 if he comes last. So 50 to 31, the difference is 19 points, and at the moment he is 34 points off the semi-final. So it would take a miracle. He needs to win both sessions and hope that Lane Michaela is at the... Well, Lane Michaela at the minute's been 12th twice, so he would be hoping that Lane will maintain that pace and that Kallio can win the 2, but at the minute, I can't see him doing it. And Lane Michaela's doing well, he was going with him.
Yeah, so Kallio and Joker on lap 1, Lane Michaela followed him. And of course that allowed Kallio to come out with clear air, but of course he's also tugging along Lane Michaela with him.
Yeah, into the Joker goes Narsha. This is in response, so early Jokers. He'll be hoping to come out in front of Kallio, and if he does, yeah, Kallio needs those extra 5 points, Dan. You know, when you get the 50 for the win in the session, and I mean, I don't, maybe, yeah, but the track's going to develop the wrong way. You know, everything's against him. Basically, there are 13 cars. The only other thing I can think, yeah, is here's an OMSE driver, and who else is with OMSE? Ericsson and McConnell, and who else? Osland. And an Eklev. So it's whether or not OMSE would be willing to pull a car and therefore promote Kallio to the semis. What do you think? I think it's unlikely.
I don't see that happening. They're all, you know, young bidding drivers trying to make their career, and they're all paying customers.
So the only way that's going to happen is if someone is willing to say, I'll pay the bill for the weekend, pull out, we want to get Kallio into the semis. But even then, he's going to have lost points. No, but he could. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If you're not in the championship fight and someone goes, I'll pay for this weekend, no, it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably quite rare that would happen,
yeah,
but it could happen.
It could. All, well, having seen the tactics that have just happened in the World Rallycross Championship, you never know, do you? So, Kallio behind Narsha. Michaela's now dropped just a little way back. Michaela, you see, he can do the laps when he's got someone right behind him. Steep learning curve. Kallio, look, is just a little bit quicker, it looks like, than Narsha.
I wouldn't say he's all over him, though.
No.
He's not got the usual pace we've seen from him. I mean, obviously, limited track time yesterday, which didn't help him out. But, yeah, he's not quite as fast as we've seen him through the rest of the season. Maybe the problem with the car is affecting the performance as well.
Over the line for Narsha. Checkered flag in 3:02. So let's have a look compared to yesterday. So, okay, fair enough. So that would have been good enough yesterday for a second or a third in both sessions.
But we've seen with World RX, the track is quicker.
It has, yeah. And both times yesterday, Ollie did a 3 minutes flat. So in theory, Ollie Eriksson can go a couple of seconds quicker than that. And we're going to see the track is faster, we know already. So I reckon Eriksson's going to dip under 3 minutes, isn't he, basically?
Yeah, 100%.
Narsha, Kallio and Michaela. Kallio in P2 in the standings, but Gunderson is chasing him down, and McConnell is in the mix to chase Gunderson as well. Pretty even start. Michaela, like, he got a bit of judder away from the line, maybe where the RPM just dropped him a bit. Kallio came around the outside. Did he get a tag there for Narsha, or did he just come in too hot?
I think he just came in too hot, of course, with these cars being mid-engined. If you come in at that sort of speed, the weight of the rear of the car just makes it tend to step out compared to like
overtake the front. Yeah, yeah.
Like a pendulum effect.
Yeah,
is how my dad always used to describe it.
So if you go in too late on the brakes, if you back it in basically in an RX2 car, it's not the same as backing it in at all, is it? You know, because of where the weight is.
Yeah, you got more weight to drag the back end around compared to a front engine car.
So Narsha takes it from Kallio, but we've got a couple of races to go. Track might be getting quicker. Does Kallio have any hope of making it through to the semis?
Had a great start to the day, good to get a race win. Tell us how the track's different from yesterday.
Our track's quite the same. Had fresh tires this time, so it was a good start. Been lacking speed all weekend, but finally had some good lap times, so looking forward for Q4.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So he had new boots on for that one, says the track's pretty similar. Let me see, what did he do yesterday? So he's just done a 3:02, and yesterday, he's on 3:08 yesterday, Dan, both times, so he's gone 6 seconds faster. So new tyres and a clean track has seen him get 6 seconds. That's 1.5 a lap, okay, averaged in with the Joker, but so track is a lot faster. If you go 6 seconds faster, you could be looking at getting Ericsson times up towards that at the tail end of World RX.
Wouldn't surprise me, though.
No, me either. So 5 more RX2 machines on the line. Vasily Greyer's in on the inside. Then it's Linus Osland, Niklas Aneklev, Anders Michalak and Steve Folders. What are they doing with Folders? Are they looking at something on the... No, okay, fine. So So they were just making sure the start was lined up properly. Steve's got the door open. Track and air temperature. Air temperature's only got by a degree, but track temperature's gone up by 5 degrees in the last half hour. So expect it to be closer to the temperatures it was at yesterday. It's still quite windy. Wind's in the opposite direction. There's still a bit of cloud cover here in Cape Town as well. Another very even start. Greizen has that inside line. They're side by side. Greizen's just got to be brave on the brakes and hold on. Gets into the door, runs a little bit wide, but I think he's going to get the whole shot. Boulders has come all the way from slot number 5 and is potentially going to get P2. Can't quite get up the inside. Annette Cleve in 3rd. Back of the pack is Michalak. So Osland down in 4th place. You can see Osland here, right behind Annette Cleve. Pretty clean down considering they were 5 abreast as they got to the braking point.
Yeah, not too bad there, was it? And quite surprised of Boulder's move there. It was quite a ballsy one. You know, there's a lot of loose gravel on the outside of turn 2 as they transition onto the gravel section, and it's easy if you carry too much speed in there to completely lose it. So brave by him, and a good job to get it tucked in as well.
Vasily Gryazin was in 7th place overnight. What had he done yesterday? Gryazin was 8th and 6th with a 307 and a 304. So if we're right, he should be getting down towards the 3-minute mark compared to yesterday's pace. So a similar gain in pace he should get to Petter Nasha. Nasha was doing 42.7. Now, to be fair, Gryazin a second off the pace of Nasha. So actually Nasha and Kallio were going pretty well in that one, Dan, looking at the lap times of these guys so far. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, we'll see what Greizen's done now after he's done a rolling lap of 43.1, so... Takes 6/10 off it, so he's still 4/10 off Nasha and Kallio though, so... Yeah, so maybe Nasha was right about the track. He's just managed to... well, he's had his Weetabix this morning, mate. Still got 6 seconds quicker than he went yesterday, though, hasn't he? So there's definitely change. Okay, is that tyres? 6 seconds seems a bit much for me. Yeah, that's a bit much for tyres. I mean, maybe yesterday, I can't remember what sort of races he was in, but maybe he had a lot of traffic, and I mean, there's a lot of factors it could have been, you know. Like, he could have just not been able to find his groove yesterday as well. And you're looking at the track from the commentary position and the pictures that everyone can see at home. You know, what's your feelings on the way the conditions are developing? So we're now starting to see dust. Here's that point, isn't there, where it seesaws back towards being slippery and visibility. Yeah, I mean, it is starting to head that way. My only concern is if we're going to start to see some holes, because looking out of our commentary position, you can see the curve that they go over there, where Greizen is just jumped over. We are just to the right of that shot, and we can see turns 2 and 3, and where they're really leaning on the curves is starting to make a little bit of a hole there. There's a lot of loose gravel on the outside of the corner, so that's going to be one of my concerns as well. In Volders, Michalak, and Eklev Osland is the order as they come out for the joke lap. Volders is going to hold on to P2, but it is Greizen who takes it. See where he stops the clocks. Target time is, where is it? 302.0, 303.1, there you go. So he's 3rd, a second off. So Nasha and Kallio. So Kallio is at the sharp end, which is what he's got to do. He needs those 50s. Good run by Lane Vakela in the race before as well. He's not dropped all the way down. No, he's not. But that's not what Kallio needs, because if Vakela scores well, Vakela was in P12, so he's the target for Kallio. Kallio wants to win 2 sessions, have Vakela at the bottom and leapfrog him. But I mean, there's a couple of others, Michalak and Nasha in there, but Nasha's just done a good run as well. Where's Michalak? Not so good for Michalak. So yeah, he's on a bit of a wing and a prayer, but he's going to try. Greizen wins race 2. Volders, Eklev, Osland and Michalak are your top 5 from that one. Here's where they slot in. Kallio look right up there in P2. 5 quick cars to come in the next one, and that might seal his fate, as we say, unless somebody pulls out ahead of the semis. And you know, we're saying, could it be someone from his team? There is a chance, don't forget, with the flyaway event, that somebody breaks something that they haven't got with them. So still a chance for Kallio. Such an even start on the run down to turn 1. Look, there's barely anything in it, certainly nobody with any clear air. Greizen managing to get the whole shot. And Volders, I thought Volders might get up the inside of into turn 2 there, but not quite.
Yeah, just a little bit loose on the outside of turn 2 there for him to be able to slingshot himself up the inside. He would have had a lot more wheel spin there than Gryzin.
Bit of a pack fight going on behind. No problems for Gryzin out front. We're looking to see, okay, so we've got Vakela, 5-second penalty for track markers. So is that included in his time already?
Not yet. So he'll move down the order, and that's good for Kallio.
Okay, so Vakela then has picked up a 5-second penalty on the timing screens. Thank you, Dan.
Great start to Sunday there, race win. How did it feel?
Yeah, feel quite good, but after the first 2 corners, the car was a little bit damaged. But I'm happy that the Heat is win. My race was win. Yeah, I'm happy.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Fraser McConnell crew are out in force. The Jamaican flags coming to the front of the hospitality area now. Figured out where they are. They're just off to our right. Fraz is having a strong weekend. He's in P2 behind Ericsson at the minute, fighting for, well, in theory, he was fighting for 3rd in the championship with Gunderson. We looked at this yesterday. If you weren't with us yesterday, where were you? How dare you? Fraz. We put all this effort in. You have to be here. So McConnell is 4th. He's on 119 points. Gunderson is on 128. So he's only 9 points on the back of Gunderson. Gunderson, 14 points off the back of Kallio, who looked super safe in P2 and was actually hoping to close down the 21-point gap to Ericsson, who's on the inside and has won both sessions so far. Ericsson and McConnell getting a bad start there. More contact down towards the first corner, sideways. It's Gunderson. Sami-Matti Trojan in the mix as well, so Gunderson has managed to get past. Sami-Matti Trojan is inside Fraser McConnell. Is he going to hold on to that position? He does, and McConnell gets into the back of Gunderson. Gunderson on goes slow on the exit of turn 2. McConnell was right up into the rear of Gunderson, hit the rear left quarter. You can see there the damage to the front Fraser McConnell's front right of Fraser McConnell's car, but Ollie Ericsson with another clean start down, and now we're going to see whether or not those lap times can be improved on.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of expect that from Ericsson, don't you? He's done it every single race, I think, pretty much this season.
I think what gets me is the recovery, though. So I think we saw an average start yesterday, and that was an average one too, to be fair. Gunderson beat both him and McConnell, but it's that ability, isn't it, to read what the situation in turn 1 and make up for the bad start, like Bakkerud did yesterday when he passed Kaliakowski.
Yeah, he's very experienced as a driver as a whole, of course. I mean, this isn't his his first time racing in RX2. He's done
Supercar this year as well, of course, in Nordic. Second, did he get?
Yeah, he finished 2nd to Robin Larson after a big almighty final round, which if you haven't seen, you better go and check that one out, because it's full of drama. But I mean, he's also raced in the States.
Broken suspension, he lost out on, didn't he?
Yeah, so he was leading the final, and he would have beaten Robin to the Nordic Championship, and then on the brakes into the first corner on the final lap, his suspension broke and he was in the wall, and that was his title over.
Oh, McConnell got Trojan, but Trojan's up the inside on the run to turn 1. McConnell did well to avoid those track markers around the outside.
McConnell up the inside again.
So McConnell has a warning for track markers, but so does Trojan. So both these two guys have got to watch out, because if they hit another one, now Trojan's coming under attack from Olofsson. This is a great race. Sami-Matti Trojan defends him on the inside. Ollie Ericsson, though, with all that experience we've been telling you about, look out in front. Coming in from the joke lap now is Gunderson. So Gunderson clearly in front. So Gunderson, where's he come? Gunderson yesterday was 2nd and 3rd. McConnell was 3rd and 2nd, so he got the position because he had the better result in the previous session. Dan, how are the lap times looking?
So we got Ollie Ericsson on 42.1, which is 6 tenths faster than Petter Norsar, who's currently at the top of the times.
Yeah, okay, so there we go. That gives you an idea. 42.3 from Gunderson. McConnell with a 43.2. So McConnell's having a bit of a scrappy run this time. Ericsson goes into the joke lap. Is it going to be session win number 3 on his way to title number 2? Is it in RX2? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, so
retain the title, which Cyril did, didn't he, for 2 years in a row, and now Ericsson's turn.
Yeah.
We want to see Ollie in a supercar, so where will he end up next year? The dust is hanging. The clock is waiting. have some of that. 2:59.3. So 2:59.3. I'm just looking at the world time and trying to figure out where that would be. Bearing in mind there's been some track development. Ericsson, I think, might have made the top 12 because Markham was 8th with a 2:56.2, so 2:59.3. But as we say, okay, it's in jest a bit, but it's a very, very impressive performance. And we know the RX2 cars are quick anyway. It's normally less than a couple of seconds a lap in it. They don't look so spectacular because they're driven in a very different way. But great job, Ollie Ericsson. 2:59.3 is enough to win the session. There we go, Ericsson from Gundersen, McConnell, Trogan and Olofsson. Gundersen to the top of the table with Ericsson. McConnell only gets 6th this time, Trogan down in 7th. So Gundersen is going to gap McConnell a little bit, but I'm trying to look at the points and see. I reckon they might hold on to their positions where they were. Sammy Matty Trogan was behind Fraz, and they've both had an average one there. So this was the start. It wasn't so bad. You see what Ericsson's done there again, Dan, is what he usually does, which is he knows the exact point. And you know, yeah, you've got shift lights and you feel it anyway in any car. You always feel you're getting shifts. But Ollie spends so much time in the car that they're perfect.
Yeah, and he always studies it with his engine engineer as well. And he was telling me once about how he was so annoyed that on one of his starts he was like 100 RPM too high on his before he changed gear.
Terrible.
And you're like, sorry about that, mate.
But you know what though, it's the attention to detail that wins world championships in the end, isn't it? But he's got to get to a world championship. I do want to see these guys. You know, it's like Kevin as well. I want to see them in supercars.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. This was him. Look, you just about see Tate Mount in the background. Nicely done though. Out clearly in front of Gundersen. Gundersen and McConnell still doing well, still chasing down each other, but chasing down Kallio as well in those standings.
Ollie, another session win, another step closer to keeping the title. How was that for you?
That was good. I had a good start, and there was some rubbing into turn 1, but I got out okay. Did a few mistakes, hit the tire bank once in lap 1, but car is fine. I feel good, and yeah, we just keep on grinding.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
So me and Dan actually think that's made him champion because, well, let's take a look at the standings. Here we go. Ollie Ericsson at the top of the table, look, with 350, so he's on 150 points. Then you've got Gundersen, McConnell and Trogan, who at the minute are P3, 4 and 5 in the standings. Gryazin, Olofsson, Nasha and Ostland. I'm hoping we got the second page. We have so Kallio is there, but look, he's 25 points at the back. I don't think he can do it, can he? No,
so
he can't.
Even if he
won it,
if Kallio won and
50 and Vakala got 31, well, he's got a penalty there, mate. No, 31's correct, so 19 points, so he can't do it. So
yeah, I don't think it matters because even if, so where Kallio's on 70 points, if he was to score 50 and Ericsson was on a 0-point score, he would still out-qualify Kallio, and then...
I was more thinking whether or not he could make the semis, and I don't think, because I don't think he can do that either.
I don't think once it matters about the semis, I think there's not enough points available for him to overhaul Ericsson.
He can't, but can he hold on to P2?
That's the question.
Because that's the thing. Ericsson's champion. So we looked at that there with the 150 points. Basically, he can't, even if he retires in the next one and gets 31, he'd be on 181. Basically, he's in the semi-finals. Once he's made the semis, there aren't enough points left. Dan's absolutely right. So Kallio can't beat him. We know that. But Gundersen and McConnell are going to close down that gaps point by being ahead of him in the standings. So I think Kallio would. Yeah, I imagine you've got your rookie season. He's been on the podium at 5 events. Kallio's been on the podium at 5 events. It's gutting for him to come here and just. Yeah, he wants a trophy for the hard work. He wants P2, and he's in danger of losing that.
Yeah, and it is so disappointing when it was something that was out of his hands. It's a mechanical issue with the car.
Yeah.
You know, that's the worst thing about it. If it was something he'd made a mistake on and thrown it away, fair enough. Maybe that was a bit his mistake, but it's nothing that's in his control.
So Kallio's got a hope, basically, that somebody can't make the semis. Yeah, that a roll in Q4. He's hoping for misfortune for others, which is never the way a driver wants to do it. But he will be desperate to make the semis and see if he can hold on to a trophy. Second or third in the standings would do. Ollie Ericsson, pretty much champion now, but he'll wait until after Q4 to celebrate. What a session. Amazing.
Yeah, an amazing session, and as you can see, Table Mountain has started to reveal itself, but we're still no clearer about who is going to be World Rallycross Champion 2019. It looks like it's going to go all the way to the final this afternoon, but certainly there's one step before we even get to the semi-finals, and that's Q4. So in just over an hour, we'll be back for qualifying 4, then it's semi-finals and finals from 2 o'clock local time. Thank you very much for watching wherever you are. Remember, comment, share this. This is a big day. This is the closest of any of the World FIA Championships and the closest this championship has ever been. So don't miss qualifying 4 in just over an hour. Thanks to Dan Rook and Andrew Coley and the whole TV team. We'll see you very soon.